Jace, what's your question?
My question is, other than the audio room and the newsletters, what are some other great growth strategies on LinkedIn?
Jace, you need to go live on video every week.
Yeah, I think I do.
It's time. And here's how I would do it if I were you. And for everyone, I've worked with Jace before, but you have such a big library of newsletters and you can see which ones have led to the results that you want and which ones also just get the most opens. I would literally just leverage your most successful newsletters as like your first 4 to 8 lives and just use them almost as an outline or a script. And of course, you're going to add more examples and things, but leverage them to go live so that you don't have to think of anything from scratch. And then what the next step would be, and what's happening more and more with our clients, is that the more organized and effective a LinkedIn Live is, the more easily it could then be repurposed for something like a YouTube. And I slept on YouTube for a long time, but I could tell you that just in the last 6 months, we're at a point where 20+% of inbound clients are now coming from YouTube. We just have 6,000 subscribers on YouTube. I think that when you have a very organized 20-minute live every single week on LinkedIn, it's a great ground for that to be turned into a 15-minute YouTube video that could also generate inbound leads for you. But if the live is a mess, if you don't know that it's going to work because you haven't tested that messaging before, then we don't want to repurpose things that don't work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. And that kind of leads me into a follow up question. But how do you structure the content for the live, right? Just to make sure you're not shooting from the hip and it's an organized plan. How do you go about handling that?
If your newsletters are pretty structured, it's just an intro. So it's, hey, my name is Chase. This is what we do. Go to jace.com if you're interested at any point. Today, we're going to cover the 3 things to do XYZ, and then go into those 3 things and make sure the main thing is to make sure that those 3 things are not 3 things that they've seen a million times before in other videos, in other articles. And the first thing is the most important because you have to go off baseline. So if I do a video and I say, this is how to optimize your LinkedIn profile, and I start with the photo, I'm going to bore people to death. People have seen that video a million times by 25 other creators. But if I say, these are the top 3 things you need to optimize your profile, and then I tell you, it has nothing to do with your profile. It has to do with you knowing exactly the one goal that you want from LinkedIn. Now I've gone off baseline and now I'm talking something different and I've got their attention. A lot of it is understanding what's out there. And of course, this takes time and energy. What do I have to offer to make this content better? Say it, add more details, take a different spin, whatever. And how can I basically prove my expertise in 20 minutes and do it every single week? Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes perfect sense. I think it's time now.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I know that you were doing some with guests, and there's a time and a place and a purpose for doing interviews and stuff like that. But if you're still in a very building stage of your business, like you want inbound clients that are high paying, then I would highly advise you do it solo. Just from our experience and from working with hundreds of clients at this point, it's very hard when you're interviewing someone else. You're supposed to give them the stage, the platform, the space to talk about their thing. How are you going to do your call to action and all of that? When people tell me, oh, I've gone live on LinkedIn 8 times, most of them are interviewing someone else. Of course, you haven't converted because they don't even know who you are. You haven't even stood alone. My brain has not had the opportunity to associate you with an expertise yet because you speak for 10 seconds asking a question and they speak for 3 minutes. And so just do it solo for the first 8.
Sounds good.
And if you don't convert after 4, your first 4, there's a problem. So if each of you do one LinkedIn live a week solo, after the fourth one, if you're not getting inbound clients, the messaging is a problem. And then it's reviewing the messaging. And I just got off a training with some students and I told them, In business, the best perspective to have is to see yourself like a pro athlete, except you're on a different playing field. And if I'm a pro athlete and I go to a game and I try some new plays and they didn't work, my coach is going to force me to sit down and review that performance, which is exactly what we do in Growth Academy. You do your live, it didn't hit the mark, you didn't get DMs, you didn't get clients. We're going to back to the play and we're going to break down why. And it's not just saying, oh, this doesn't work for me. It's no, the messaging is a problem. If your messaging is right, you will get inbound clients because the right person will feel like, wow, this is for me. And they will reach out. I think for you, Jace, it's definitely time. The question I have for you is what needs to happen for this to happen weekly without a lot of resistance? Is it the tech? Is it the time on your schedule? What is it?
Yeah, that's a great question. Right now, I would say it's mostly the time. We just onboarded 3 new employees, figure out a way to just squeeze about a solid hour out of my calendar a
Mhm.
week just for me to be able to do that. I think that's something that's feasible. I just got to restructure my calendar.
Yeah, and again, your advantage is I'd audit your LinkedIn newsletters, which ones brought in the most high quality leads that closed.
No, I
Okay.
already, yeah.
Okay, so then start with those. I mean, you basically have an outline and a script ready for your first live. And again, it does not need to be an hour. It could be 15 minutes.
Yeah. No, what I'll do is I'll block it off for 30 minutes, do it every single week, have it recorded, and then just based on what I see there, like I said, I'll go to board if after 4 attempts, we don't see anything, but I already know which ones are converting. So that's a plus.
Okay. All right, awesome.